Well, absolutely. In fact, Raj Kiran, continue to stay with us. We also have Mr. Pravin Thipsay, who's the Indian Grandmaster, joining us live on the telecast. Appreciate you joining me live on this telecast, sir. Thank you very much for being with us. And, you know, as we speak of this big development following the major win by Divya, it was also, in fact, much highly anticipated given Divya's record and the kind of achievement that she has finally made into a reality also speaks volume about the training that she has been rigorously going for many years now. How do you see this, and what was the first reaction when you got to know and hear about this very big win?
As a chess player and particularly an Indian, I was watching the match closely. So I was watching every move of the game. So it wasn't a sort of news to me because I was watching what was happening. It was a fascinating moment, these two players playing the tie-break matches, and that in the semi-finals, both of them defeating strong Chinese players who were much higher seeded than them. If you look at the tournament, Humpy started as the 4th seed and Divya started as the 15th seed, and they reached finals. And they beat the top seed and 2nd seed, everybody who belonged to China. So I think it's one of the greatest achievements. For first time, Indian players are winning the World Cup and coming 2nd as well. At the same time, first time we'll have 2 Indian players in the candidates tournament, rather any player, because nobody ever had qualified to the candidates tournament in the past. The candidates tournament is a tournament which decides the challenger for the World Championship. So these two will now play in the Challengers Tournament 2026, and if one of them wins, then they go for the World Championship title. They try to beat Zhu Wenjun, the reigning world champion of from China. So that is what I think. I look at it, and at the moment, looking at this results, I think that one of them will emerge the challenger, and perhaps Divya, if she emerges a challenger, we will have a chess world champion in the women's section next year.
Absolutely. In fact, Mr. Thipsay, as you are all praises about the youngest of the women world chess championship that we have got, India is very proud to have her. But at the same time, what I also want to have a reaction and response rather from you is about a statement that you've quoted in reports saying that Divya, I believe, is still not a sponsored player, while most others are. What do you mean by this? While also you asserted this with a very big statement saying that Divya should aim to become the world champion among women in the year 2026.
Yes, I think when I look at, when I myself look at all the profiles and interviews of the top players, as it's very common for chess players to know about each other, read about them. And, you know, I noticed that everybody specifically mentioned about sponsorship. And as you can see, Divya is unsponsored. She has not been paid. So it's all the effort of her parents, basically the monies which come from the parents, which restricts her training and international participation programs. Because recently, of course, she gets paid being a strong player. She gets paid for playing. But there have been times when they had to train themselves. And, you know, like in absence of sponsorship, it's a very big sacrifice from the family. And if she's unsponsored, I must remind the chess fraternity that when 3 players qualified in the open section, in the men's section, to play in the candidates, the All India Chess Federation arranged special coaching for them by spending 2 crore rupees from the AICF funds. So I think when 2 players are now playing in candidates women, I think AICF should ask them about their coaching requirements, and if required, the most expensive and the best coaches in the world, like Vishwanathan Anand or Gelfand, could be hired for the benefit of these players. And then probably, I think that we are doing, in that case, I'll say that we are doing justice to these 2 great ladies, particularly the young girl, Divya,
Absolutely.
who at the age of 19 has become one of the best players in the world.
Absolutely. Most certainly, Mr. Thipsay, before I let you go, in fact, it is important to note that even in your comments, as you have also admitted that you were watching very closely, up close, the kind of match that was being played. And initially, if we go by the rankings, Koneru Humpy did have an edge because of the experience that she has held throughout the years. Her ranking was also significantly higher. But then when we see the results, it was also the time that Divya had initially after playing the move for playing her move even after one tiebreaker. So what do you think had prompted Divya to finally in fact pull this along, as even the rankings initially did not give us that much of an expectation?
I think one of the most important things is that Divya has nerves of steel, and she is very strong, very calm. Even when she has 10 seconds on the clock, she is confident and she tries to play the best move or the best practical move. She is a very, very practical player who knows how to get opponent into a trap. And she was very, very well prepared in the opening, as it has always been her strong point. From Humpy's perspective, she is the original player, but she was particularly badly prepared in the opening for this event because she hardly got any good positions, not only against Divya, but even in other games. So it has not been her strong foot, sort of that trying to win the games in the opening, whereas Divya did that very articulately, and she was able to get good positions in all the games against all the opponents. So something which is very remarkable, to prepare beforehand, to judge the player, to expect something from a player and be ready for that. It's a fantastic preparation, and of course the nerves of steel as the games were heading towards the draw against Humpy. She just kept her cool, and Divya really did outplay Humpy in some way in the last game.
Absolutely. In fact, thank you very much, Mr. Pravin Thipsay. That